Joining us now from London is Mazzig. He's an Israeli writer and activist who frequently speaks to communities abroad. And Chen, thanks so much for being with us. I know you give a lot of talks on college campuses. We've been talking a little bit about campuses. We know that this is sort of a breeding ground for, let's call it, intense modern debate. What is some of what you've seen there?
Wow, it goes all the way from denying Israel's existence as a whole to suggesting that Jews are superhuman, that control the world, and have this agenda to oppress non-Jews. That my family are actually, although my family is from Iraq and Tunisia, they're actually white Europeans, that they came from Poland, although my grandmother came from Iraq and my father came from Tunisia, but that doesn't matter. So the most, ludicrous and insane lies that you can think of, people denying me being a gay person that speaks about LGBTQ rights in Israel, to say that it's pinkwashing. Everything I'm trying to say about Israel, or every time I'm trying to speak about my experience as an Israeli, being denied and shut down and just silenced on campuses because, we can't speak about anything that is not against Israel's existence. As soon as I'm speaking about Israel in a positive light, immediately I'm being shut down.
So you are an activist. You're talking and speaking out about this to crowds and encountering what it sounds like an enormous amount of pushback and really just simply ignorance. What do you do about that? I mean, what kind of conversations are you having? What do you find that you do that maybe works?
I think that just bringing my own personal story and continuing to speak up. And I always say that, I don't fight anti-Semitism. I fight for the Jewish people. And there's a difference because I choose to be driven by love for my people rather than hate for those that want to destroy my country and my homeland. So I'm always trying to share how beautiful the Jewish community is in Israel, how 55% of Israeli Jews are Jews of the Middle East and North Africa, that we are a diverse people, that all we're fighting for. When people say, well, I'm an anti-Zionist, I want to have a debate on it, it's just, it's not, I just don't find it an issue that we can debate, because you're basically denying my existence, and you're calling for the death of my country and the death of my family. Israel saved my family. Zionism for me means my existence and my family's life. My family were refugees. In 1951, no one opened the gates for the Jews of the Middle East and North Africa. So to be an anti-Zionist, it doesn't mean to engage in a conversation that is critical about Israel, which there is a conversation to be held about Israel. And for me, as someone that is very critical of the government, there's a conversation that we can have about the government and about politics. But the conversation is not about that. It's not about criticism. It's about denying the existence of the Jewish state. And that's something that we're not seeing with any other country.
In those conversations and everything you're exposed to, do you feel a difference between, is there a line drawn between being Jewish and being Israeli? Because those are obviously two different things, but seem to be getting blurred a lot of the time.
Yeah, I think you're right on the issue here, that the lines are blurred. BDS, to boycott Israel, doesn't really do anything to the Israeli economy, and we all know that. But it will harm Jewish students that are Zionists. 95% of American Jews are Zionists. The global Jewish community are by and large Zionists. The anti-Zionists that are being pushed forward are a tiny minority. I mean, they are harming me and they are harming Israel, but not as much as they do to the Jewish community. And I think that me being Israeli, I'm an easy target. But when they're fighting against me and when they're fighting against Israel, they're actually fighting against the Jewish community. It's becoming the politically correct way to be an anti-Semite these days.
Well, having the conversation like we're doing now is a really important place to start, at least to then hopefully have the debate. Mazzig in London, thanks so much for giving us a glimpse into what's going on right now in college campuses in the UK and really around the world.